Hello everyone, I'm Morgan and today I wanted to share with you all the series that I need to start. I will only show you series where I actually own at least the first book in the series, not just any series that I might be interested in. So I thought I would do this in multiple genres, just like in my video for the series I need to finish. So first of all, we're going with fantasy. So I'm going to talk to you first about the middle grade slash YA series that I need to start. And the first one of those is Les Fiancés de l'Hiver, La Passe Miroir by Christelle Labou. This is a book that was written in French, as you can tell, and it actually has gotten quite some hype in the English-speaking world, so you probably have seen it. I don't remember right now the title in English, but I'm going to put everything in the description as usual about the books. I don't really know a lot about this one. I just know that people either love it or hate it, because apparently the writing in this is pretty special, so I don't really know what to expect, but I'm hoping I like it. Next is Elena by Pierre Bottero, another French series, and this one is actually part of a bigger world, the Ewilan world, I think it's called, and it's a series that is pretty well known in France, but that I have never read, so I really want to get into this one. This is actually separated into multiple trilogies, and this is one of the last trilogies that is, from what I gathered, a prequel. But my boyfriend, who loves this series, said that it was a good place to start. Then I have another series that is one of my boyfriend's favorite actually, and that is The Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, so the first book being The Northern Lights, well, just Northern Lights. I have never read that series. I know so many people did when they were kids, but I actually tried reading it when I was in middle school, and I remember not being into it at all. Like, I read one chapter or two and I was like, that's not for me. Then again, I also had the same reaction when I tried reading Harry Potter when I was a kid, so you know, I was different, I guess. But I did read Harry Potter a few years later and I really enjoyed it, so I think I have changed as a reader, definitely. Now for adult fantasy, I have a lot of series. The first being Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. This is a series set in the UK about a man who solves some crimes, and I think there's something magical about it because it's fantasy. I don't really know, but I have heard quite a few people talk about it over the years, so I'm intrigued. Then I have the Broken Earth trilogy, the first book being The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. N.K. Jemisin has been an author that I've been wanting to try for a while. I've been wanting to pick this up for so long, really. So many people have raved about this series, said that it's one of the most original fantasy series ever, so I'm just so excited for it. Then I have Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James, that has one of the most beautiful covers ever, but I'm still really afraid to read this one because, as you may know, Marlon James is one of my favorite authors, at least I think he is. I've only read one of his books, and I've just been afraid to read this one because a lot of people did not enjoy it when it came out last year, and I think that the reason most people didn't enjoy it is because they were just expecting normal fantasy, while Marlon James has a very peculiar way of writing stories, so you either love it or hate it. So I think that's why, but I don't know, so hopefully I will read this one at some point and see. Then I have Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin, which is a prequel of the Song and Ice and Fire series following the Targaryen family. I have always been so interested in the Targaryen family when I read the Song and Ice and Fire series, so I am excited to read this at some point. Yet I bought it when it came out, like a lot of the books, and I still have not planned to read it anytime soon, so I don't know. I'll read it one day. Then I have the Wayward Children series, the first two books being Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Sean McGuire. Sean McGuire, as I said in my LCBR, is one of the authors that I am trying to read more from because I gave 5 stars to Middle Game by her last year, and I've been doing this challenge, if you haven't seen, of reading these authors and trying to see how many books of theirs I can give 5 stars. So hopefully it's going to be as good as everyone says. I know, like, not everyone likes every single book in this series because we don't follow the same characters from what I gathered, and also these are novellas, so obviously it's sometimes a bit too short, I guess, but hopefully. I have a lot of hope for that. And the last adult fantasy series that I have is the Mistborn trilogy, and I have all of them right here by Brandon Sanderson. I picked this up because I want to participate in the Cosmere read-along this year, hosted by many people, and I'm actually late in this read-along because I'm supposed to have read Elantris already, and part of the short story is in the Cosmere universe, but whatever, I'll catch up, and hopefully we'll read these ones as well this year. We have 2 months to read every single book, so I think that's way enough. And I don't know, just Brandon Sanderson is again one of the authors that I want to read more from because of my challenge. So far I've enjoyed every single book I've read by him, and yeah, I'm just really excited. And now for sci-fi and dystopia, I have quite a few series as well. The first one being the MaddAddam trilogy by Margaret Atwood. I am really excited for this series. I have a weird feeling that, well, I have a feeling that I'm going to give 5 stars to this series, and I don't really know why. Though maybe it's because I love dystopia so much, and I know Margaret Atwood writes so well, so these are books that I just have a lot of hope for. Then I have Leviathan Wakes by James Isaac Corey. This has been making the rounds on BookTube because the TV show came out a few months ago. My brother has watched it and he loves it, and he asked me if I had read the books, and I was like, one day. And then I saw this one in a used bookstore, so I am going to read it at some point. Next, I have 2 books by the same author, and they are Annihilation and Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer, which are both first books in a series. So this is part of the Annihilation trilogy, I think it is, and this is part of the Born duology series. I don't really know. But I'm just really interested in trying Jeff Vandermeer because I discovered through looking at his books that there's a genre that exists called weird fiction, and that just sounds exactly like something I would like, so hopefully this is going to be my thing. But yeah, all I've heard about these books and just Jeff Vandermeer's books in general is that they're really weird, so I don't know, I tend to like weird books, and also this one is like one of the most pretty books I have ever seen. Let me just show you like naked how it looks. Like it's gorgeous, and I'm just obsessed with it. Honestly, I wanted to buy it after I saw it in after I saw it on Instagram, and actually this is the second book in the Born series, whatever, but I did ask someone and they told me that the books are more companion books than anything else, than sequels, so they said that I can read this without having read the first one, but obviously if I like this one I will probably go back and read the first one, Born. Then I have Doomsday Book by Connie Willis, which is the first book in the Oxford Time Travel series, and this book just sounds amazing. Apparently it's about a historian who works in the future, and what they do is they use time travel to go back in time and go through history so that they can get the facts. She goes in the middle of the Black Plague in 1348, and she gets stuck there because the machine that she used to time travel doesn't work anymore, and so she's just in the middle of the Black Plague, and that just sounds like an amazing premise. So I have been wanting to read this ever since I heard about it, so we'll see. Next is Foundation by Isaac Asimov, and this is the first book in the Foundation series. I think it has a title, a specific, not series, but chronicle, or I don't remember, but whatever. This is the first book, and obviously this is one of the sci-fi classics, so I want to read this and all the other books in the series if I enjoy is Asimov's writing. And another sci-fi classic that I have is Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. This is a huge classic of sci-fi and supposed to be hard sci-fi about climates in some other planets, so I'm hoping I will like this. But hard science, I'm not sure I'm going to love. I mean, I am a scientist, so this should appeal to me, but also it's a lot about biology, and I'm not a fan of biology in general. I mean, I like biology enough to watch like 10-minute videos or something about biology, but I don't know if I like that enough to read huge books about them, even if they're not nonfiction, but we'll see. Who knows? And last, I have first books in series that are not sci-fi or fantasy. So the first one is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and this is the first book in the Symmetry of Forgotten Books, and like everyone has read this book already except me, so I want to know if it's any good, and if it is, I also have the third book in the series. There are 4 in total, so I will need to buy the second one if I want to read the series, but whatever. I only have this one, and I actually got it for free in a free library, and that made me really happy, and it's just gorgeous. So next is Wolf Hall by Haley Mantel. Everyone has been talking about this book this month because the third one and the last one in the trilogy has come out finally. I really am interested in this book. I actually wanted to read it after hearing someone say that it was one of their favorite books ever, so that's high praise. And yeah, I don't know. I know it's historical fiction, obviously, and that it follows some king. I don't really know much. I hear honestly everyone talk about it, but then I'm just one of those people that can forget everything about a book that I want to read because I just want to go into a book as blind as possible. So that just has become kind of a strong quality for me, I guess. So yeah, I'm not able to say what a book is before having read it, usually. Whatever. The penultimate book is Outlander by Dinah Gabaldon. This one is not the one that people talk about a lot, but I've heard some people really like it and others not so much, and I don't really know why. At least I don't remember why. Maybe because, like I said, I don't remember a lot about books I want to read. But this one is one that I've been going back and forth in wanting to read, because obviously, like, I want to know if it's any good because people talk about it a lot, as usually do about hype books. But I'm not sure this is something that I'm going to like. I know it has a lot of romance, and that it's set in the past because you have a character that is also stuck in the past because they can time travel. I don't know if that's true, whatever. And I also know that there's a TV show that I have been wanting to watch, so I'm thinking of trying to read this one as an audiobook because that's always easier. But obviously the audiobook is extremely long, just like the book is. So I don't know about this one. And the last book is the first book in the Death Note series. I don't know if you say series with manga, I guess you do. Whatever. But this is one of the only manga that I've ever wanted to read, because I was crazy about the Death Note anime when I was a kid. I watched it so many times on TV and I thought it was great, and I was in love with L, one of the characters in Death Note. So I don't know. But L is a killer, so I don't know if I'm supposed to be into him, but I was. Maybe I will be again, who knows. But yeah, I'm really wanting to get back into this series and actually read the graphic novel this time, well, the manga, and watch the anime again, because I haven't watched it in a long time. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Please tell me if you've read any of these series and what you thought of them, because I really need help in what I need to read next, but I do plan on reading all of these at some point, of course. So yeah, please tell me. I hope to see you soon at the video. Goodbye!
Dream I know, deep up my feelings feel